All right, so before I get into this article, I just want to say a few things about Johnathan Majors and his career in the industry. And every black man is doomed and are targeted of something they didn't do, and yet they lose their careers over anyway. As a black man myself, I just want to say that I hate that our lives are now being targeted over something that we did not or say anything wrong when it comes to having opinions or trying to do something productive with our lives. And I hate how every black man is portrayed in this world as a thug, criminal, but not all of them are like that. Not every black man is like that. And I know that Johnathan has went through a lot in his career after losing his job in the MCU over a woman that completely set him up for failure by making him look like a villain, even though he defended himself and trying to run away from her. And yet the court system and the verdict still chose the abuser over an innocent bystander. This is one of the main reasons why you cannot trust people in this world, because even if your back is against the wall, the odds will always stand against you no matter what you do. You're still guilty. And you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail over something you did not do, a crime that you did not commit. If it's something you didn't do wrong, why even bother finding him guilty? Regardless of what you do. And I think it's sad to me that we live in this day and age where people will stop at nothing to ruin your life. And it's so ridiculous that we can't even have a normal life without somebody accusing us of something that we didn't do. The fact that MCU fired him, while they could have just stuck by his side, letting him know that we're behind him regardless. And you know what? They completely dropped the ball. They completely dropped the ball on this guy. And we also have another film company called Searchlight that decided to exit this movie all because of his arrest. Wrongfully arrest. Where it should be the Caucasian woman's arrest, not him. A lot of people say, oh, he shouldn't be crying like that and all that crap. No. If you truly understood what the man is going through, men are allowed to have feelings too. Him crying on stage wasn't for making good. That was pain that I see. A man that has lost everything over a woman that tried to lie on him, on his name, an innocent name. So I believe this movie is going to be one of his biggest comeback of the year in 2025. If people could just somehow stop believing what was said on the internet about him and look at the actual facts of what men are going through in the domestic violence situations, where everything when it comes to DV, it will always be the man's fault regardless of who you date. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, or Asian. They all will turn a blind eye and make you the victim and try to lie on your name and make it seem like you are the abuser when it was them that are the abusers, not the innocent bystander. Let's get something straight here for a minute. And I know I'm taking too long with this intro, but I wanted to get some points out of the way. Innocent bystanders are the most guilty because if it's something that they didn't do, they will always throw you in jail regardless. And until people will start taking accountability for the lives of innocent people, we will always be guilty no matter what. No matter what color you are, we will always be guilty. And that's the pathetic part of the world that we're living in today. So I just want to get that out of the way. We're going to dive into this article right now. Magazine Dreams, a 10-sport drama starring Johnathan Majors, has been acquired by Briarcliff Entertainment and will be released theatrically in 2025. Searchlight Pictures has originally landed the movie at 2023 Sundance Film Festival, but parted ways early this year after Majors was convicted of domestic assault and harassment of his ex-girlfriend. And like I said, she's the perpetrator. She's guilty. She's the one who should be thrown in jail, not him. It will debut in theaters on a yet-to-be-determined date during the first quarter of next year. Elijah wrote and directed Magazine Dreams, about an aspiring bodybuilder named Julian Maddox, who abuses steroids in his quest to become a sports icon. After its Park City premiere, the film sparked a binding war between Neon and Sony Pictures Classic and HBO before Searchlight landed domestic rights. After Searchlight dropped Magazine Dreams, the filmmakers were free to shop to be the other distributors. Briarcliff is looking forward to take his story to the big screen across the country in early 2025. Briarcliff's CEO Tom Ortenberg said in a statement, Johnathan Majors' transcendent performances as Julian Maddox will undoubtedly be remembered as one of the most compelling and transformative roles in recent cinema history. We are honored to bring this extraordinary work to theaters nationwide, inviting audiences to witness a story that will resonate long after credits roll. And that's the one thing I love when the innocent people are given second chances in life. Because when the wrong people close the doors on you, another one opens for you to be successful. And I'm so glad that these people gave him a second chance to rebuild his reputation, to rebuild his life. And I'm so glad that people are actually showing him love after everything, every lies, and all of the nonsense he's been through. This is what love and support is about. Any real fan of Johnathan Majors that are watching this video would understand where I'm coming from. Briarcliff Entertainment's prior films, including the Liam Neeson thriller The Masked Man, supernatural thriller Don't Let Go, and sports biopic Sweetwater. The indie distributor will be releasing The Appearance, a biopic drama which Sebastian Stan portrays a young Donald Trump, on October 11th. Majors, the Emmy Award-winning actor of Lovecraft Country and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, was fired from Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe in the wake of a guilty verdict. The 34-year-old was expected to appear in the upcoming installments in the comic book franchise, including 2026 adventures The King Dynasty, which has been renamed Doomsday. Prior to the trial, Majors was dropped by his manager, Entertainment 360, and his publicly firm lay company. He remains read by the talent agency, which is stupid. I think when people decided to give up on you over something you didn't do, they're not your friend. They're not your family, because if they were, they wouldn't leave you hanging high and dry. Because I feel like when you're going through some tough situations in your life and you know you're innocent and the people actually still believe the so-called victim, well, they're the ones that are monsters. Really. And that right there is something I am not a fan of the most. When somebody is innocent, stick by their side and don't leave them. Majors has denied the assault allegations and maintained a desire to resume his career in Hollywood. Earlier this year, he was cast in the independent revenge thriller Miracles, which will be directed by Dennis, I can't pronounce his last name, his brother Martin. I still can't pronounce his last name either, but I know for a fact that 2025 will be his biggest triumphant year because of him surviving the assault charges, and after losing his job in the MCU over last. And I personally think the MCU dropped the ball on this guy. And yet people on the internet are still believing the victim instead of him. And yet they still find the innocent man guilty of all charges. And everybody on the black side, oh, you should have been with a black woman. Why are you with a white girl? Because you know how they are. That has nothing to do with what he's going through. Any woman that is like this Caucasian woman, they all do the exact same thing of lying on sexual abuse and all of that. And when a man loses his life and job over false allegations, his life will never be the same. And most men that I see commit suicide each year because of false allegations. And Johnathan lost his career over false allegations. And MCU completely dropped the ball. So it don't matter what color you are when it comes to dating women, because a lot of them do that. It ain't just white women, it ain't just black women, it's all women in general. It's like they have a thing of lying against innocent people. And as soon as they get called out about it, they play victim. It's like accountability is kryptonite to these people. And as for Johnathan, I know he's going to probably take some sort of accountability for his part as well. But guess what? His movie in 2025 will do its numbers, will surprise people, and it'll be one of his biggest comebacks in all centuries, despite all of this. And it'll be the biggest middle finger to the MCU once this movie blows up. And I'll be, you know what, and I wouldn't be surprised if any man that were inspired by Johnathan Majors' story in his situation, they would have felt and done the exact same thing too. Surviving allegations, surviving false allegations, surviving lies in order to build themselves back up. So I'm glad that he's doing better right now. Magazine Dreams is going to come out next year, and I know it's going to do great. But I'm just saying, as a black man myself, I'm being real with y'all. Y'all know how I've always been on here, and you always agree with me, even if you don't understand what I'm trying to say, but at least you understand where I'm coming from. That's how real I am. So at the end of the day, as a man, you have the power to overcome adversity, darkness, challenges. You have the power to overcome all of that if you believe in yourself. Forget about what the media said about you. You worry about your own career and do what you love. Let the haters hate, because they're the ones going to be feeling sorry for what they say.